An attack drone flies into an enemy vehicle. The explosion is so powerful because the shells detonated. But where were they being transported? And here is the answer. A convoy of enemy vehicles. The shells were for them. These tanks, APCs, and IFVs are moving to storm the positions of the Ukrainian armed forces. A Ukrainian drone flies at the head of the column. The scout records an explosion. The destruction of a car is a signal to the enemy. Soldiers are running to the trees. One of the abandoned enemy APCs has an open hatch. The Ukrainian FPV cautiously descends right into it. A huge explosion is visible from a bird's eye view. The APC is on fire from the inside. The next drone flies to the tail of the column. After hitting the ammunition, a fireball rips the hull. The enemy is trying to escape from the trap. The APC gives way and then joins the retreat. The FPV flies to say hello to the tank. The front armor is the most powerful, so it can withstand the impact and explosion, but the APC immediately stops. Its crew saw the attack, so they flee into the bushes. The second Ukrainian drone attacks the tank from the rear. The explosion stops the tank, which catches fire. Soon, a reconnaissance drone confirms that the fire destroyed the tank. The FPV flies into the APC. The scout uses the zoom to record that the armor has withstood the attack. But at night, a bomber drone flies here. It blows up the APC with the first drop. And here is the result the next morning. Another enemy tank. It has a multi-level defense and resembles a fortress. An attack drone flies to test its strength. The first hit tears off the outer layer of armor. The Ukrainian pilot skillfully guides the next drone under the cannon. Reconnaissance confirms a hit to the tank's turret, which is engulfed in smoke. The tank slows down and dives into the bushes. Several AFU drones approach the enemy tank at once. The first two hit the target one after the other, but the third drone takes its time. Each hit removes a layer of defense, like an onion. The last drone takes careful aim. It hits the vulnerable spot near the tank's gun. It was decided to destroy it at night, just like the APC. A series of drone bombardments left the Russian tank no chance. In the morning, the tank was left with a mangled hull. Nearby, an attack drone hit an armored personnel carrier. The armor has withstood the blow. The next FPV rushes right into the hatch. The reconnaissance drone recorded the destruction. Later, it became clear that the second drone set the APC on fire from the inside. The fire detonated shells. The APC was torn to pieces. And now I'm going to show you something truly unique. Take a close look at this tank and APC. They're approaching the landing site at the same time as they are clearing the road. AFU drone dropped a grenade on the enemy tank, damaging it, but not destroying it. The unmanned reconnaissance vehicle changed its angle and found that in addition to the tank, there was an enemy APC near the abandoned house. It's an interesting situation. This is a Russian tank and the Russian building. Reconnaissance notices movement near it. Meanwhile, a Ukrainian attack drone attacks the tank. It seems that the armor held up again, because the tank continued to move and pointed its gun. And then something strange happens. The tank starts shooting at its own occupied building. It was not an accident. The tank continued to fire and discharge its ammunition. The AFU drones continued to attack the tank. It fired its gun and immediately received a hit on the turret. This went on for some time, like agony. At night, an unmanned bomber flew in to burn the tank so that it could not be evacuated. Each shell dropped shattered its armor. The third explosion set the remains of the tank on fire. I have something else interesting for you. Pay attention to this. The enemy was in a hurry to get away on a motorcycle. A Ukrainian drone intercepted the target in time. The soldiers were probably transporting ammunition. After that, the AFU drones tracked down where the enemy was storing the ammunition and weapons. And this is what the work of this unit looked like in those days, with FPV drones destroying the enemy, its warehouses, communications, and logistics. These attacks did not stop, but significantly slowed down the enemy's offensive in this direction. Look at this. All this happened in such a short period of time to stop the enemy. Give the AFU your thumbs up for doing such a good job. The next day, 2 armored personnel carriers made a breakthrough. They relied on electronic warfare, but from around the corner of the forest belt, they are met by the Ukrainians' FPV. A scout from a distance records that the first APC is on fire after being hit. The second is still intact. The second APC released camouflage smoke. The FPV is flying to attack. The armor has withstood the first hit. However, the second UAV will not let go of the target. It breaks through the defense with a spectacular fireworks display. Both enemy APCs are on fire. Neither the electronic warfare nor the tactical trick worked. Both APCs were destroyed by only 3 Ukrainian drones. An enemy armored vehicle is driving nearby. But last night, this area was mined with drones. The first explosion damages the vehicle, but it is still on the move. The attack is impossible, and the vehicle turns around to retreat. It's too late to escape. The next detonation tears the already damaged bottom of the vehicle. While it burns, the soldiers run for the bushes. They are clearly in shock from this encounter. In this case, the mine explosion damaged the control system of the occupier's APC. It is jammed, and the APC moves in circles. The Ukrainian armed forces drone hits this target. The armor on the hull held up. The second drone flies to strike from the rear. From a distance, a spy drone detects the drone detonation, but the APC is on the move. The Ukrainians attack the APC for the third time. The drone breaks through the defense and destroys the APC. The multi-level defense did not help. Nearby, another APC has completely stopped. Behind it, there is a crater from a mine explosion that damaged the enemy's running gear. An attack drone flew out to finish off the target. Electronic warfare interferes, but on inertia, the pilot brings the UAV to the target. After a powerful explosion, it catches fire. After a while, the reconnaissance drone films the fire devouring the APC. Its ammunition effectively detonates. The loss of enemy equipment in this area allowed the AFU drone to break through to the rear. There, an enemy artillery unit was on its way to the position. The drone attacked it from the front to stop it. The first soldier jumped out of the hull a moment before the impact. The artillery unit stopped, and the crew abandoned it. Now the Ukrainian drone could aim at the ammunition. The detonation of the shells ripped the self-propelled artillery system apart, and then the soldiers tried to shoot down the drone with machine gun bursts. In vain, as they were simply distracted. On the other hand, a second UAV of the AFU approached. The Ukrainian drone hit and instantly ignited the target. The fire spread quickly. Molten pieces of metal were flying in all directions. Ammunition for several tanks was burned in front of helpless soldiers. This was confirmed by a reconnaissance UAV. Not far away, the crew disguised their tank very well, but the Ukrainian armed forces drone found the enemy's equipment. The FPV is flying, despite the electronic warfare. The soldiers try to protect the tank and shoot at the drone. It does not help. The attack drone hits. A second drone flies to complete the destruction of the tank. A reconnaissance UAV records a powerful explosion from a high altitude. As it approaches, the camera does not see the fire. But later, intelligence confirmed that the tank was burning from the inside. It was beyond repair. The enemy tank fell into a crater caused by a bomb explosion. To prevent the tank from being evacuated later, an armed forces attack drone flew into action. The pilot used something special against the tank. The scout sees that instead of a mine or grenade, an incendiary mixture was used against the tank. It burns through the tank's armor in seconds. In a few minutes, it is just mangled metal. However, munitions are also relevant. A night drone hovers over an enemy tank. 3 shells destroyed the armor and then set the tank on fire. Later in the night, reconnaissance confirmed the fire. And in the morning, the tank was a wreck.